So what's this week look like? Do with the bonus days. Like, how'd you handle Monday and Tuesday?
Well, Tuesday was the players' day off. Monday, we brought the guys in and just kind of knocked the rust off a little bit. Had a very quick practice. It was primarily dedicated to individual, and then we had a 2-minute drill. But it was a quick one.
And Matt, what was your reaction to Aaron getting the Man of the Year nomination, and what's it been like kind of getting to know him over the last 3 years here?
Yeah, it's not surprising. This guy is as selfless as I've been around. Just everything he does for everybody else, and as talented as a player that we all know he is. I think it's pretty obvious he's even a better person. Just everything that he does and the support that he shows, not only the local community, but everything he does outside of here. I know, my son's on a local football team here, and he happens to be on the same team that Aaron's bike buddy is on, and you see Aaron at his games and whatnot. It just speaks to him. He's such a great person, cares about so much other outside of the building and so many other people that we're lucky to have a guy like that.
Matt, so I assume everybody tested twice on Monday. Do you feel like you had whatever you said over the bye week was heard, and do you feel like you're back without anybody other than Jordan?
Yeah, I think that it's just, how do people get this? I mean, you could be as careful as can be and still end up getting it. You just don't really know. But I think everybody has taken it pretty seriously over the last 2 years and trying to be available for each other, for this team. But it's one of those things. I was talking to a coach that missed some time from another team, and he told me, he's like, I literally go to and from work, and I got it. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I know I'm not smart enough to figure it out and connect all the dots in terms of how it's transmitted and how people get it. And but I do think our guys are taking it to heart and trying to be as responsible as possible without shutting down their entire life.
And how much will Kurt do in practice today and then the rest of this week?
Yeah, so as far as today's concerned, he'll take all the reps. It's going to kind of be a modified Wednesday, if you will, in terms of from where we started the year, where we'd have 30-plus reps on each side of the ball. We'll get like 15 reps, live reps, and then the rest will be a jog-through tempo.
And then Aaron, do you think at all this week?
We'll just play it day by day and see where he's at, on each day. And if he can get some reps, that'd be great. If he can't, he can't. But I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to hinder him for the game.
So how different is it preparing for a Bears defense when Khalil Mack is not on the other side?
Well, they got some really good players on this defense, and it's not just Khalil Mack. Obviously, he is a unique talent. He's a tough guy to replace, but I think Gibson's done a heck of a job. Robert Quinn brings, a lot off the edge. They got Bruce Irving there now that's played in this league for a long time. There's a lot of great players. I think this defense presents a lot of different challenges in terms of just the different structures they give you, making sure that everybody's on the same page from a communication standpoint. And then they've got really good players, and they play really hard on top of that. And then you got a guy like, Hicks inside and Goldman and Nichols. I mean, they've got a lot of good players, so it's definitely not an easy task.
On the other side of the ball, Montgomery didn't play in the last game. It seems he's healthy now. What kind of difference does he make to their offense?
Yeah, he is a complete back. He does it in out of the backfield as a receiver. Obviously, he's a very talented runner. He's relentless. I think he is an upper echelon back in this league, and So they'll definitely get a big boost for getting him back in this game.
Matt, you've had MVS back for a few weeks now. How different is your offense and how different are your options as a play caller when you have him at your disposal versus when you don't?
Yeah, I think it definitely, he makes a tremendous impact, and just in terms of his ability to stretch the field and the experience he brings. You can move him around, and it's not a big deal. He's an extremely intelligent guy. He knows our system very, very well. He does a great job with the details, and so it definitely opens up a different facet to your offense.
Matt, you've coached other good quarterbacks besides Aaron. How different, though, is the vibe of your team or the expectations or the confidence of your team when you have someone like that versus when you have maybe a younger quarterback that's growing into the position? Can you tell how different the feeling is about the chances you have of winning every game?
Well, yeah, he is one of a kind. So there's not many that have not only the ability but the mental capacity that he has as well. And that's not, to disparage any other quarterback in the league or that we have. It's just the guy has seen a lot. He's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot. He's obviously very intelligent. Just his ability to do, and I've talked about this in the past, he is the ultimate multitasker. His ability to handle multiple things on the field in a matter of, a few seconds is unlike anything I've ever seen. So it's pretty incredible to watch, and I think, he brings a level of urgency to not only to our football team, or not only to our offense, but to our football team. Just the way he goes out there and practices, and the expectations that he has for the other 10 guys in the huddle for him.
Played 3 games now, I think, with him without really having him practice much. Have there been any kind of hiccups because of that in games?
No, I wouldn't say hiccups. It's just, I think there's certainly, when you don't practice, there's a comfort level, and it's just how quickly can we get them back into that comfort zone and into kind of the flow of the game.
Does it change like your first 15 just to kind of find that comfort
I think
zone?
we're just mindful of what we call. Obviously, you want him to have a lot of confidence in whatever it is you're doing, and that's something that we, work collaboratively on with myself and Hackett and Aaron, just kind of, and Getsy as well, just kind of like ranking the plays. Basically, the ones that we rank the highest collectively, we make sure we dial those up a little bit earlier.
It's happening a few weeks like this. I mean, does it get to be kind of a new normal, new routine type thing? Do you kind of get used to it after a while, or do the additional weeks of no practice kind of have an additional effect?
No, I don't think so. I think he's if for him picking up a football and throwing it, and you can see it right away when we go out there and pregame warm-ups. Just it's like riding a bike, and he's able to do that and do it at a really high level, obviously.
Oh, go ahead.
How have you seen Justin Fields grow from when you guys saw him in October? I know he missed a couple games. How have you seen him progress that makes him a threat?
Yeah, I think he's just like most young players. You sometimes got to go through some ups and downs and kind of navigate your way through that. But I think he is a very confident guy. He's obviously very, very talented, not only as a thrower, but he's got the added element that you can't account for in his ability to make the off-schedule plays. So I think he's more comfortable in what they're doing, and he's a heck of a challenge to defend.
Your short yardage has been really, really good this year, which would stand to reason if you could have had Bakhtiari and Lindsley and Elton, which you haven't had. So what do you put your finger on there?
I think our guys have done a great job game planning for it, and it really comes down to the execution. But I think Justin Outen, Steno, Hackett, they all kind of sit in there. Ben Sermons, and game plan all that, and then it comes down to our players taking that game plan and making it work. So I think our backs have been running really hard. I think the effort's been great, but I feel like that's been the case on most plays all year long. So it really comes down to just making sure that you put your guys in a good position, and then they go out there and execute.
Was that a bigger stress during the off-season stuff at all, or is it just nothing to that at all?
I wouldn't say a bigger stress. I think it's something, situational ball is always stressed. You're talking about any third down or money down situation, third or fourth down. I think your red zone, your 2-minute, all that it's always stressed. It's just how well do you go out there and execute.
Now, you said on Monday that potentially you might have either David or Zadarius or Jair. Are you going to have any of those guys today?
Yeah, so Josh should be out there getting some practice, mostly individual, but again, we'll take it day by day with all those guys, and we'll see where we're at the end of the week. And trust me, they want to get out there as bad as anybody.
Matt Nagy has said that Justin Fields will start, but given how they sort of used that quarterback position this year, do you have to plan for Dalton as well?
Well, I think absolutely. You always have to plan and have a plan for both those guys whose styles are a little bit different. But yeah, and that's how we've kind of game planned up to this point.
All right, let's go to Zoom. Sarah, go ahead.
Yep, just one. Go ahead, Aaron Nagler.
Coach, you obviously enjoyed a pretty healthy teams your first 2 years in Green Bay. This year, a lot more challenging. Has there been anything specific that has surprised you or been a bigger challenge you may have expected in regards to just, like, even administratively, or just dealing with having to juggle rosters, lineups, depth charts, what have you? Or has that just kind of been part of the game and you just move forward?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the mindset, Aaron, is just, you got to play the cards that you're dealt and do it to the best of your ability. And thankfully, we have a lot of depth on this football team, and we've had a lot of guys rise to the occasion. And I think that's a great credit to them and how they prepare, and our position coaches in terms of getting these guys ready and developing some of the guys that you might not going into the year are thinking on counting on. So I think it's a great credit to everybody.